All right, so part two. I've changed the photo. Isn't that highly amusing, eh? Highly amusing. So anyway, it's part two. So we're still just a little bit there about being in a relationship with someone. Obviously, I only know what it's like to be in a relationship with a Chinese woman. Um, and yeah, it was different, of course. And some of those women could barely speak English. I had enough Chinese at this point where even though I could speak some Chinese, basically, I mean enough to um, I couldn't go into like full blown conversation and discuss like topics like a native. I did have some friends that had excellent Chinese, and but I didn't. I've learned a lot about the culture of China and the history, the recent history of China. I should add, I'm only talking about my knowledge of the recent history of China is going back to say 1910s, what happened after 1910 in China. And I read a book called Wild Swans by a Chinese national that no longer lives in China because her book was banned. She was given an account of her family's history, probably with some, creative licensing, some exaggerated, maybe some exaggerated bits and bobs, but whatever. If you're curious about what to expect, if you go to live in China for any length of time, I strongly suggest that you read that book called Wild Swans. And it was so bloody helpful. And I was like, oh, don't really want to learn the language to an advanced level because I don't want to listen to the small talk all around me, and I've got mates now that learn Chinese, and it's massively fucking frustrating for them. The Chinese don't know that they know when they're in the shopping mall or the supermarket or something that my friend does know what's being said about them, whilst these grannies, evil aunties and whatnot, or walking around them, and they don't know that they can understand what's being said. So we're in this city called Jinan. We make some new friends. It's 2019 at this point. 2018 to 2019, I was working at a university in the previous city, Zibo. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but by this time I'd been in that city for 5 years, and all the good times and the good crowd and all the Friday nights, Saturday nights out with the gang kind of come to an end. People had left, people had got into relationships. It fizzled out, and I fizzled out. I was living on a university campus, and I made some friends there, and I basically would just hang out with them. So I went to Jinan in 2019. That would have been the month of August, but I probably moved there in July. And it was, as I say, it was a small high school, and it takes a while sometimes for a Chinese person to warm to you because it's a very guarded nation when it comes to friendships and relationships. And but by the time, say, 2020 January, and it's Chinese New Year. Um, Me and the colleagues, we all got on pretty well, and it continued to do so. But another thing did happen that year. Um, the school would start saying there's something. The school's going to have to close down because there's a new cold, whatever. And then I learned the word virus. I can't remember the word for virus in Chinese now. So I was in China the entire time of the COVID outbreak, and I don't know other people where they were when COVID was going on, but it seemed to last a great deal longer, the lockdowns and everything else in China, than, I don't know, anywhere else. I think it was late 2022 where we were still, like December of 2022, still doing the mouth swab by the dabai. The dabai means like white suit or something. I can't remember. Dabai. Local nurses taking the mouth swab, and thinking about it now, that was pretty fucking mental. Like every day. And then there was people queuing up to do it. And I was like, listen, you're getting people that haven't been diagnosed of having this. Because at this time, if a Chinese person was discovered to have COVID, they were being packed up and shipped off to these centres. And, you know, they couldn't leave. And they were, you see, in China, we weren't given Pfizer. We weren't given the Moderna vaccine. We were getting RNA known vaccines for such a thing like the flu. I don't think, and I don't know of anyone. Oh, sorry, I do know, but he'd gone back to his country and he got the quote unquote Rolls Royce, the Rolls Royce of the vaccines. Yeah, Moderna. But he's a fit guy. He's a runner. And touch wood, he's in good health. So we were working online. All of the teachers working online, and we were using whatever the software was that was available. The kids were, it wasn't WeChat, it was some other platform, and then the kids would either sign in or not. So it's, you know, like the normal schedule. Like you got grade 5 at this time and that time, and then you would go into this software app and you would just sit there waiting and to see who turns up. I can tell you that I think this is high school, right? So I can think less than 5 would turn up. Some of them would turn up, tune in, and they're out and about in the shopping malls and the supermarkets, you know, and they're just goofing around with the other students that were there. And I'm trying to do this class, and it was like, they didn't come back the next day. None of these kids will willingly be, their freedoms, you know, being in a Chinese school is no joke, folks. It's no joke. Some of them are living on campus. They need a slip or a piece of paper to even be allowed to leave the campus. So these aren't children, these are young adults, 15, 16, 17. If they want to go across the road to go and get some snacks from the shop, that means they're going off the premises of the school. Oh, hang on. Never mind that. So anyway, I was working at this school for 4.5 years. You know, COVID came, COVID went. And I started to build a music studio on the school premises in a vacant building. It wasn't big enough, but it was not too small. And the other options were just too big. So I'd spent my own money with a view to the school could use this facility that I'm building and paying for to promote the school, because I don't want the school to fail. I want it to do well. What do I get out of it? I get to record my songs. And what does the school get out of it? Advertising. Potentially another curriculum, which I will then teach. A happy student is a happy school and a happy teacher. It all works together, you see. If you provide these facilities, your school will have a higher chance of recruiting more students. And there was literally 1 or 2 people in the school that understood that was a good idea, and that was the point. A lot of Chinese, they can't think outside the box. They can't. the indoctrination is such that there isn't any time to be creative. Only the wealthier families can do that kind of thing and allow their kids to not think about academia all the fucking time. That's all there is for Chinese young people. Academic study, homework. It's miserable. Do you think they're outside playing after school? No, they're being packed off to another bloody learning centre or something. At least this is how it was when I was there. For a lot of the students, it's like a glorified prison for a lot of these students, and they won't get the childhood back. They will not get their childhood back. So we're on 10 minutes. I want to finish this up. When it's time to leave China, for me, I was perfectly content, and I can't thank the country enough for, obviously I earned my life and my relationships. We all earn it, unless, but I don't know, you can't luck. Oh, I just happen to have a nice life. How lucky am I? No, I earned it through relationships I made, contacts I made, networking, and all the rest of it. Pat myself on the back. Yeah. Anyway, got the position where I had, the money to build my own studio. Obviously, the students were very excited about this. They were coming in quite often. And then there was a financial issue related to my passport. It got to a point where I actually couldn't take money out of the bank. And because I'm a bit idle, I ran out of money. I had money in the bank. I had money in my WeChat app, because we all use that to pay for stuff. But I ran out of money and I couldn't take it out of the bank. And that's when I was like, oh, hang on. I'm trying to transfer money over. Oh, you can't because your passport's expired. I was like, oh, stupid bastard. I should have gone to the bloody bank and given them a new passport. Well, guess what? When this all happened, there was a national holiday and the banks were closed. So for 5 days, the banks were closed. And when they finally opened, obviously I'm brassic. Mates are lending me bits of money. And so I've got to the bank. It's taken fucking hours because the banks have been closed for 5 days. Busy. And I'm saying to my school, I can't leave. I'm in a queue and I have to get money. This has to be done now. And I've explained it to my manager. Maybe they've explained it to their boss. Whatever happened, I don't know. The next thing I know, you need to find another job. I'm sorry, it's out of my hands, quote unquote. Turns out it wasn't out of their hands a few months later when they asked me to go back. But by that time, the damage had been done. So here we are, October 2023. I've already decided, well, maybe it's just time to call it a day. But I wasn't completely convinced. I wasn't 100% sure because there was an invite to go back to my job and I liked my job and I liked the people I work with. I think the final straw was there was a notice on the entrance of the building to where I lived, a notice there. I can't read it. I didn't bother. The next thing I know, there's an electronic device on the entrance to my building and it's some sort of scanner. Turns out it's a facial scanner. So this is like a lot of these apartments in China, they're stacked like 5 floors high, 10 floors high. And this one was a facial scanner. So I thought to myself, I'm already kind of at the end of my tether here. Now, you are going to put a facial scanner on the entrance to the building that I live in. What happens if there's a power cut? Or what happens if the state decides we're not letting anyone back in there? There's a problem. We're not letting the residents back in. Because this had happened a few times prior to this with the previous door entry system. I'm not going to do this in time, am I?